as she said, it's written in Wolfram, Abi, something Wolfram. I don't even know what that is, Sha. But you've explained. So I've been trying to go along with the content of the course, but then using Python. It might not be exactly the way they did their own, but I tried doing some of the things. I tried
Exactly,
searching on
getting this.
but it cannot be done like putting the unit, in the column for each of the values in the column and then still use that column to calculate. That's not possible in Python. You cannot, you must separate them, stuff like that. So, but at least I was able to like look at the whole picture, the bigger picture, and then I followed with Python. So I
I see.
started.
All
I'm
right.
not done yet. Yes, I'm not done yet.
Yeah,
So
that's very fine.
yeah.
So that's okay.
Okay. So
So sorry,
sir.
my okay, I can hear you.
So how about you've not gotten back to us on the matter of that stage C? We want to know if we have to wait. It's not a problem if we have to wait for the other this thing, but if anything can be done
I
before that.
I I
Okay.
understand, but at the moment there are other things on the table. But definitely
Okay.
before the end of the old internship, I'll get back to you on if it's possible. But you should
All
know
right.
that if it's eventually is not possible, then might just have to wait for the next.
Please let it be
Okay.
possible. Please let it be
Okay.
possible. We are many. We are many in these shoes. We've put our best to the
Yes, I
learning,
understand.
to the stag along, and getting to know that we missed the quiz is quite painful. Please.
Seriously, I don't even know how they hit the second quiz. Please, where
No,
was it?
no,
So,
Assuming this,
no
the
problem.
result, assuming the result came quite immediately after the quiz, we would have. It didn't come immediately after the quiz.
Yes, the way the
Assuming the
platform
result,
works is that is when the course ends that it gives you a summary of the course. So it is when the stage ends. So that's why I saw that the stage course came immediately after the that stage ended. So it is when the stage ends, then it aggregates every quiz
please
that is
let us
embedded
find
in that
over your
course,
site. So
and
I'm
it's Amoye, but no problem. I don't know, but I can advise you guys what I feel. Another thing, because I've done it on my own end, but as I've said, it's not up to me, it's up to the higher ups. You can try sending a mail. You get an organized mail where
Okay.
you guys just try to let Amoye know, because I will see the mail. We at the Amoye team will be in charge of the mail, but the higher ups will also get to see the mail themselves, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So you
Yeah.
can send a mail. That's different guys. Just try to send a mail and try to plead their indulgence for. But even if it's going to happen, it will probably be after the capstone stage and all. You just probably like try to let them know that it's still something you guys are looking forward to and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so going into our stuff for today proper. So unfortunately I was not able to get the data sets I spoke of the last time that I said I was going to prefer to use. So we'll just be working with something else today. Coming, just trying to share my screen briefly. Okay, okay. So can you guys see my screen now?
yes.
All right, no problem. So let's start. So the data set should be okay. Let me just try and lift the data set from where I kept it. Is it this? Okay, yes. So if you remember, I was specific the last time about the fact that things relating to pattern analysis is mostly used in sales companies. You see sales companies always trying to ensure that they are trying to find a pattern to increase their revenue or to serve their customers better. Just a way for them to ensure that they are able to generate more and also reach out to a lot more people. So this is the data set I'll be using for this analysis. Probably I'm just going to I'll paste it on Slack when we are done. So well, just for the case you guys might want to it won't actually be taking too much because the only difference between what we're going to be doing here and what you guys have been doing since the beginning of the stage is the fact that we are now taking into consideration the fact that there is a date time column. The date time column that is in charge of giving us information about in which that the date in which that observation happens. So when you are able to have the date, then you're able to see some things. You're able to like juxtapose, okay, what happens on weekends? Those are the kind of questions I can ask. Okay, what happens on weekends? What are the kind of sales you generate on weekends? For each year, what are the kind of sales you've had? Okay, in and now you raise up your hand.
Yes. Please, will you talk about the hypothesis test of hypothesis as well?
The hypothesis test.
Yes.
All right. Hopefully, when we are done with what we have today, even if I cannot talk about it during the live coding session, because we have another session just immediately after this one. I'll share a material that I know that when I was learning then it was helpful in all of those statistical hypothesis tests, the null tests, and all of those kind of stuff. So I'll share that with you guys, but I can just probably try to do a brief summary to just see if we can understand based on that. But it's a statistical term, and we don't necessarily have to do anything. Most of those hypothesis tests they are based on how is this English? Probabilistic value, exactly. It's probability. So the probabilistic value is always a threshold. So you accept the test based on the threshold value. So I'll try to talk on it, but even if I can't in this session, immediately after the session, I will share a link to a material that I know that will explain it better, even more than I would.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So next time, if you want to ask questions, you can just unmute yourself and stop me, because I'll be moving away from Zoom now. I'll be going to another screen, so I won't be able to see what happens on Zoom. I'll only be coming back periodically to just like see if people are trying to join. So you just unmute and stop me in my tracks, and I'll attend to you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Okay. So this is the data set that we'll be using. Let me just leave this here. So it says analysis, the data set, it has category column, subcategory, city, order date, region, blah, 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 and all of those kind of stuff. So this is basically what we're using. So we can see the sales, discounts, profits. This the type of data that you get from a company that is into sales and selling different stuffs. Okay. So I've downloaded the data already though, so I'm just going to import it. Let me just connect the runtime is connecting already. Oh, in the meantime, exactly. So ooh, I think it is this. Let me confirm. I think it's this data. So let me see. Okay. Oh, okay. It's not this. Let me get the one I'm uploading is a wrong one. Exactly. So this is data that we'll be using. If you can stop this one since it's taking this much time. Okay, so in the meantime, let me just start our import as usual. Import pandas as PD. Import
How do we get this data set?
sorry, how did I?
Please, how can we get the data set?
Oh, I can just send. Let me
How can we
just
get the
paste
data
a
set?
link to the data set on in the chat box. Let me just paste a link to the data set on the chat box so you guys can go to it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So that's the link to the data set. So you can just download it and but I'll also paste it after the live coding session. I'll paste it on the Slack channel.
Thank you.
Alright, so import number as MP, import as PLT, and import Seaborn as SNS. Okay, so oh, I have an error here. There should be as. Alright, so our import is done. So our data as usual, data is equals to pd dot read csv. Let me just get the part that's too long for me to type in. Okay.
Sir, please, can we have it zoomed just a little bit?
Oh,
Yes.
you forget that. Yes, yes. I think this is better now.
Yes, way better. Thank you.
Alright, no problem. So let's continue. Okay, so our data as usual, pd.read csv. Okay, we've done that. So let's see the as usual data.head. So okay, the order ID, so the states, the profit, the discount and sales and all of that. So the main idea here is we now have this data called date. So this is when this kind of data we call them time series data. So a time series data is a data that contains what? That contains dates, and most times it contains date and or time, because as you can see, this contains just a date, but there's another type of data that will contain both date and times of the observation. So when you have a time series data, that is the only criteria you need for you to start what? Finding a pattern and generating a trend among the data, because since there are dates, then you can start looking at what different dates have in common, or you can start looking at the trajectory for different dates. So it's basically, because anything I want to do here is basically what you guys know. For example, now I might say, okay, I want to do a sum of all of the sales that they did in the year 2017. Okay, so I think the only thing is, I don't know if you guys have worked with date time before, but if you have worked with date time before, then this will not be an issue. But if you haven't worked with date time before, then you might just, as usual, have to just go to the documentation to see how date times work. For example, now from this data, if I just want to get, if I want to get the year for every observation, so this is order dates. Okay, dot dt dot year. Okay, with daytime. So I need to convert this to a daytime. So if I do PD, so pandas has something. Usually, actually, they used to, like, for example, if I do object, sorry, if I just do with daytime like values, if I come here now and do this, let me do this called let's take the info of the data. Usually, back in the days when you read in this kind of data, what you would have been seeing here previously for this other dates would not have been of type object, it would have been of something called date time. But due to, I don't know what's happened, but after some updates, pandas now decided that, okay, let them read everything as a string. But after reading it as a string, if you know that you have a column that is in the daytime format, you now have to do what? You have to explicitly convert that column to a what? To a daytime format. So to do that, all you just have to do is to say pd dot to date time. So the name of there's also a datetime module in case it's not even with pandas, because you can work with datetime module even in Excel sheets in just regular data without even having to work with pandas. But we call it pd dot to datetime. So there's a datetime module itself that works for that. And then, so we are in this way now, we have converted this date from it being a string. You can now see that what's the d type. The d type is has changed from previously. Here it is what? It is object. That's it's seen it as a string, but it has changed from the string, just a normal object, to a datetime data type. So previously, when you read in a data, Pandas automatically converts that column to datetime, but now you have to do it explicitly. So to now extract the year, I'll now do .dt dot year. So there are different things you can do. For example, you can see that if I do .dt dot, let me put the dot again and see if I would have liked to, the pop-up that was there just now is not coming up. Let me try from here again, use the com, because I want us to see that pop-up, the pop-up that came up the last time. That's why it's not coming. But I wanted to show us a list of different things that you can extract. You could extract the name of the day, you can extract the name of the week. You can see, so you can see these are the ones that we have. We have dot year. Is it a year end? So based on this, because daytime they update it regularly. So based on the date that you provide, if it is a date that falls into the end of the year, that's between November and December, this value will be true. If it doesn't, it will be say it is false. If the year starts January or February, you want to get the day of the year, that's the particular day of that year, not like okay, day one, day two, day two, day three. We have 365 days, so it is this is the day for this is the day 250th. That kind of stuff you can get that. So you can get if it is a leap year. So the datetime gives us ability to extract different values just from the date of whatever data that we have. So dt dot year. So since what I want is the year, if I want this now, you see that this now you can see. So this is the year of every data. So this now I've taken away the day of the month, the day of the week, and all of those kind of stuff. So all I want is the year. So what I'll be doing is I'll be creating some columns. So this now, and then let's say that this is the what? This is the year. Okay. So this is the year. That's number one. Then let me create something called the day. Data.day. Okay. So we'll repeat the same thing. So let me just leave this. The only thing that will be changing is the last thing. So, but if I change the other dates from objects to daytime, I won't have to keep using pd.daytime. But just for convention, it's always good to have the original version of how your data is provided. So in case you make a mistake somewhere, to be easy to reference the original data that you want. So that's why I won't be converting that color. I'll just be using this way. So I'm going to be saying day first. Day first equals to true. I think the syntax should be method equals to, that should be method is equals to day first. So that way, I don't want to start to extract the date might be a little bit stressful, but when you provide the day first as true, so the value that will be returned immediately is the day. So let me day first equals to true. Let me just do this for now. Let me just comment this out and control X this. So let's run this and see what we'll get. So this has converted to daytime, but with this now, oh I see, day first was specified. All right, so let's go back, Control Z, passing date in, okay, months. I see. So when you say day first is equals to true, what this is trying to do now is, I think it was when I was working with another data. I was working with another data, I think yesterday also, where I had to specify day first. But what this column, what this day first here is doing is, you can have it in the other way, because this now the year comes first, then the month, then the day. So it's possible to have it the other way around, where you have what the you have the day first, you have the month, then you have the year. So when you say day first is equals to true, you are telling it that the first thing you should be expecting is the day, not the year. The default one is false. That's you expect the year to come first. So I'll get the DT. Okay. So used to be okay. Let me still comment out this one, because I want us to see all of these values before I assign them. So the DT dot day. So instead of the previous time we used this, so if I do this now, you see a list of different days for each of those objects. So that's the day. Exactly. So this is the 8th, but I don't want the day. I want the day of the week. I want to get something like Monday. I want to get something like Monday or something. So let me change this to day underscore name. I think they should have day underscore name. Don't know why my collab is running slow. Exactly. So they have a day underscore name. So let me do this now. Oh, okay. I think I have to call it. So let me call this. I think it's a method. Exactly. So this is what we have now. So for the first day, it happened on a Wednesday. The second observation was on a Wednesday. The third observation was on a Monday, and all of those kinds of stuff. That's for the day. I think we can also get the month. Let's try to do that also. PD dot to daytime. And just lift all of this from here. Okay, I think I can do this now since I'm sure. Okay, so I don't have to lose all of my progress. Okay,
So
so today
I
time,
wish you
but
were copying, sir.
I can hear you.
Yes, sir. I wish you were copying the modifications in a different cell, sir, so that at least you can have reference to it in case you want to. Because as you modify
Modifications
them,
of
no, like as you modify them, it overrides the previous codes that would have possibly wanted to also get the syntax of. I don't know if you get me.
oh, but I get, but everything I've been doing is this the only thing that has been changing. If you get what I'm trying to say, this is the only thing for at least the syntax for the last 3 or 4 lines. The only thing that is changing is this. That's what I'm trying to extract. So for if you want to extract just the day, if you want to extract just anything you want to extract, if you go to I think if you go to the date time, let me see if we can have pandas date time documentation. Exactly. So this is pandas.today time. So this is documentation. So this is documentation for dot today time. This is the today time function that I've been using. Network. Exactly. So this is the today time function, blah blah blah, year first, format string. So that's all on that. That's the today time. But for the date functionality, that's the daytime functionality that I've been using. You can see they will list all of the different things that we can do. So you can get should be somewhere around there. Okay. Exactly. Just so you can get the year, you can get the month, you can get the day, you can get the hour, you can get the minute. So these are a list of the different things. Is month stamp is ended, everything. And to do that, if you have a series, you can just access it with the .dt accessor. So this they have actually so it's not something if you actually want something, if you think that okay, I want to extract this sort of as long as you feel it should be extractable from the date, you can just head over to the documentation and you'll be able to get all of that. It's not something that is overly it's something that I can get easily. So from here now, I know that I want to get the month. So let me go here. So at least here they have let me see, they have something called month dot date dot add exactly dot month. So I just have to come here and say that I want dot dt dot month. Okay, so this is the month, but I don't want just the month, I want the month name. So let me see if they have something called month name and let me do this. Exactly. So this is the month name. So this one happened on a Wednesday on November. The other one was on a Friday of November. You get all those kind of stuff. So I think those are the three I want to extract for the sake of this live coding session. So let me say this is month. Okay, is equals to this. And then this. So what this will do it is this will now you create a new column called year and to extract all the year of every row. It will create a new column called day, extract the day of every row. It will create a new column called month, extract the month of every row. Okay, so let's do this. So if this works successfully without any issue, if you look at data.head now, we'll see that we have those new rows there. So in data.head, you can see we have day. So for this day, it happened what on a Wednesday and in the year 2017 for the month of what November. The other one too was a Wednesday, 2017 November, This one happened on Monday in June 2017, 2016. So these are you extract data from the what from the row. So after extracting this data, then that's basically the main focus is getting your dates in order. So once you've been able to extract the dates, just like I just did, all you just have to start doing now is to start making plots. But the only difference is that for each of your plots will now be centered around the dates. You now start making plots and um plots that will try to ensure that the plot is centered around the different kind of dates that you have. So you can start making plots for the year. So let me try to do something now. So let's come here. The first thing we can do. So let's see the trend of sales for the past for all of the different years that we have. Okay, let's even get the different years that we have first. So mp.unique data and year. Okay, so let's see. So our data contains from the year what 2015 to 2018. So based on our data, let us do data year. So no, I don't want to be writing too much code. So data dot go by. So go by the year. Okay, year, and then let's get the sum for each of the column. Then so after getting the sum, let us extract. So let's just get the sum and even look at that first. So you can see that the sum is, you can see that even for the data, the sum is not even giving us anything relating to all of this. It is only giving us the values that can be what that can be summed over. So it is those values that can be summed over. You can see. So for the year 2015, this is the value of the sales. This discounts the profit. So with this now, you can just do a plot. So you can do dot plot. So let us extract just the sales. Okay, and then let us plot that as a bar chart. So we should have a bar chart. You can see. So for this store, we can see that for this store, every year since 2015, the sales they've had for each year have been increasing. This is a trend. You can see that based on this trend, the sales of the year 2016 was higher than the sales of 2015. 2017 was higher than the years. Based on this, we can say that the trend, if the trend continues, if nothing changes, then we should expect the sale of what year 2019 to be higher than what year 2018. This is basic. This is just basic statistics. Is this what if you go to? For I think I was looking for something, statistical or something.
Please,
Statis
some people are asking for access to join.
access to the. Oh, okay. Let me. Thank you for that. Let me go back to that page. Okay. Yes. So I've given her access already. Sorry for that.
Mm.
Okay. I think she has even left again. Has left again. But if anyone asks for access again, can just let me know. Okay, she's in already. So Yana, you wanted to say something?
Sir,
I can
no,
hear you.
no, okay, because my mic is on.
Oh, yes, your mic was on, so I thought you wanted to say
So
something.
sorry, it was the last question I asked. I didn't unmute. Sorry.
All right, no problem. So, I think the last live coding session, so someone was asking, I think it was Zainab, she's not on the call anymore. She was asking that where is the pattern? I can't really remember, but someone asked that where is the pattern that we saw? That was for what I did the last live coding session, because the last live coding session was just a makeshift kind of stuff. So, but with this now, I think exactly. So, this is a website, statistical. I was working on something where I wanted to write an abstract for different years. So this is basically what this is what we just did in our code. This is what probably the person behind this too. But I think this is looking more like something they did with Power BI. More like Power BI is looking more like Power BI, but whatever it is, even when you use Power BI to do this, so this is just the trend. So we can see that with this now, you can follow a trend. Okay, the trend was that it was decreasing from 2015 to 2005 to 2008. Then we had a change in trend of sort, but then you can see that we started following a trend. But this one is not even following a particular trend. But in our data, we can see that based on the data set that we have, at least what we should expect, even if everybody, but just from this start, what you should predict that for the next year, we see the year for 2019, the number of sales will be higher. So that's basically the whole issue. That's the gist of pattern finding and trend analysis and stuff, those kind of stuff. It's just trying to see that okay, for this particular kind of years, for the history that we have, what are the things that I've been seeing that have been happening. So this is we seeing how the sales have been. Let us see how their discounts, or let us
Sir,
okay. I can hear you.
okay. Must a trend be a bar chart?
No, no, not necessarily, not necessarily. It can also it's just because this is easier. You can plot this with a line. It can be a line chart. We'll see a trend very soon. I think I'll use line chart for that, where you will see the trend going up and down. So it will just be like a line, a zigzag line, where you see that it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down again. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a bar chart. You can use any visualization to just, as long as the visualization is able to tell the picture, the full picture, then you are good to go. It's not necessarily it has to be a bar chart.
Okay.
Okay. So
Sir, in our
that's so we
storytelling project, we have to do more of box plotting.
box plotting for this project.
Our tag along.
For the tag along, I see.
Yes. Because we should
Me,
do
I'll
preferably.
try to
Yeah.
preferably box plots. Okay, I'll try
Yes.
to review that because I'm not the one that came up with the tag along and stuff, but I'll try to check that. But basically, even if the if the project details is saying you should do box plots, you can do the box plot and still include visualizations that will try to tell the trends that you're able to get. So they say you should do box plot, fine, do the box plot and then try to include other visualizations. The main thing is you want a tag along that will be able to see, because the data that you're provided with is for food. It's almost the same thing as this. It's just that it's different. It's for food. So it has years, it has date for different states, different countries, and all those kind of stuff. So try to show us the pattern that exists in how those countries are supplying their food or doing any kind of those stuff. That's basically what is
Okay. Please, I
expected from the
just
tag along
just
project.
like a distraction. Sorry, not distraction anyway. Can I ask that?
Yes, you can
I'm
ask.
still wondering, sir, why, even though I've done a little research around Wolfram, so why was our documentation and all the codes in Wolfram and we're
Oh,
expected
in
to work in
Wolfram.
Python?
I answered that question. I answered that question at the beginning of this session. Is I wasn't around. Yeah, I wasn't with the team when they came up with the course. But I'm feeling it's probably because Wolfram is something, when I read on it also, the deal with Wolfram is Wolfram tries, it's a language, not even a language per se, it's basically a tool that focuses on patterns and relationships in the data that it is provided with. So that's what Wolfram was built for majorly. So probably around the time when the course was being created, most organizations most organizations preferred, most organizations, if you're looking for a data analysis person, they will also list Wolfram as a requirement, maybe back then. So probably maybe that is why they included it as one of the course content. But with the way the transaction has been now, you probably won't use Wolfram or any of this kind of stuff, because we have things like Power BI now, we have things like Tableau that will do a lot more better job than Wolfram would do, and you won't even have to write anything. And Wolfram is still available. I checked online and I saw their website, and they still have a documentation for how to use it, how to do all of this kind of stuff. But
Yes,
the idea is probably then it was a very, very important tool, and that was why they tried to include it. But anything they try to do in that course content is something that you can achieve with Python.
so we can just ignore the Wolfram
Uh,
stuff
yes,
and be doing
just get
Python
the
with the
concept. Yes,
visualization and get
even
the
your
same
tag
result.
along is going to be in
No,
Python.
I'm even talking
So the
about
concept
following along with the course material,
with the
actually.
course content, yes,
Yeah.
I
But
think it was
sir, you
enough.
know the funny thing, the quiz are from also from the Wolfram.
From the Wolfram, I see. Now that is where the issue will be. But even if the quiz are from Wolfram, I think the quiz will relate to whatever it is that was embedded in the course. if you get what I'm trying to say. So probably get the syntax of what is existing in the course. Try to like understand it.
That wolf
You get it,
ram,
and then
two animal, wolf and ram.
so try to get the syntax of what is existing in the course. So probably that will help you navigate the quiz. But
Somebody was
this
suggesting that
this
one can convert the code to Python.
it's possible. I think yes, I read on that they have this extension that you can include in your Visual Studio Code that will be able to help you with that or something. So it's quite possible. It's quite possible.
That the
But
course gas is low.
given the time frame that you have for the given the time frame that you have for the internship, I know this is actually my first time handling the data storytelling track. I was never one. I'm not really someone that likes plotting, so I don't try to do anything relating to data storytelling. So I just do modeling and all of those kind of stuff. But so I just happen to be in charge for this course because even when I was taking the internship, then I also did not do data storytelling. So I'm not aware of all of these details. If not, I probably would have been able to tackle it beforehand.
Course gas is
But
low, sir.
but since at least I know we've in my cohort we had data storytellers that graduated and got their certificates. The cohort after that we've seen data storytellers, but it has been noted, and I think the higher ups are also doing something about all of this. So it will be a seamless process after this.
All right.
But
Thank you, sir.
for now, let's just get on with what we have.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. So welcome back, Zenob. Where did you stop? Like
Yes,
at what
thank
point
you.
did you get
So
disconnected?
I stopped at the point where we're trying to convert the date column into date object. I be to date
Yeah,
time.
date
Sorry,
time
right?
object. Exactly.
Yes.
All right. So let me just do a brief recap on that. You can see my
Okay,
screen,
thank
see
you.
the line of code that we have here. So what this syntax here does is like you must have had this one before you got disconnected, was that previously Pandas would have automatically converted the order date column into a datetime automatically. But over time, after the update, they decided that it should be left to the user to confirm if the user wants it to be in date time or if the user wants it to be as a string. So if I do this now and convert this to date time, you'll see that the other date column, it will be exactly the same thing as what we had before. But the data type has now changed. Data type is now what? The data type is now for date time, and that's basically, so when you convert it to datetime, so this is the syntax of converting to datetime. After converting to datetime, you can now start extracting different values from it. So based on this now, to extract different values, you have to do .dt. So when you use .dt, you would then, after converting to .dt, you will now confirm what value you want to extract. So I also showed the documentation. You can check that later, but you can see this Scholar trying to help us. So you can extract the date, you can extract the day, you can extract the day's name, you can extract the day of the week, you can extract the day of the year. So different things that you can do. And you can also call words, you can also call functions. So this day will give you the day of that particular observation of that date in the numerical format. But you might not, in our own case now, I don't need the days number. So I don't want to know if it is day 56. I
Okay.
don't want to know if it's day 200. What I want is the name of that particular day. Was it on a Monday? Was it on a Tuesday? Was it on a Wednesday? So instead of using the day, I'll use the day name and call this method. And if I do this now and call this day name, you see that everything we have here will be the name of the days for those different observations for that particular date. So once you are able to convert this to datetime, and then you can extract any value. So this is the link. If you just go online and search for pandas datetime documentation, so this is the documentation for datetime, and you see that the extensive coding for how to use it. If you can just go through this, anything it is you want to do, once you come here, you probably see an example that tries to do that, or an example that will lead you in the right direction for you to do whatever it is you want to do. So what we then did in this column is that I started the year, I started the name of the day, and I also extracted the name of the month. So I extracted all of this and created that as a new column. So all of this will not be new to you. So I just did that. And in our new data frame, you can see that we have a new column, day, year, and month. So for these dates, using the datetime object, I've been able to extract that the 11th of 8th is August, or Okay,
Yes,
the month is
August.
first. I see. 8th is August. So basically, this now is two ways, because I don't know if the month is first or if the date is first. But the way this is reading
Okay,
it is reading the first thing as the month.
as the month, yes,
You
November.
see,
Okay, okay.
that is why it is saying that this is what November. Then it is now reading the next one as the what, as the day. So the 8th of November of 2017 was a what, was a Wednesday according to this. But let me just try and work on something here and see if I can know what is actually the first one. So that's why you see, I said it previously that it is not good to just like, you need to have your original value also. So if you have your original value, it will be good for you to at least perform some other things. So when you want to convert any column, it's always good to like probably do it in a copy or do it somewhere where you can still reference the original what, original value. So for me to do that now, I'll go to the original value, that's data and other dates. Okay. So
Okay, so since
other
from the
date.
beginning we did not convert the column,
Yes, I did not convert exactly.
we
So
just
the column is
extracted by converting
exactly, I structured the column. So what line does is it creates a copy of this other date in this what, in this
new
format that I
format.
have specified for it, but it doesn't change the actual column in itself. So data order dates. So I'll change this to a string. So I'm trying to see if we have any string. Okay, so I just want to know if we can have any value in the middle. That will be what, okay, is there a way? I think, let me do this first. The string. Okay, should it be capital letter? I think it should be capital letter, exactly. Oh, yes. But what I'm trying to do is, let me just print it out. I'm trying to see if we can see any observation where in the middle you can see this day now has something called it has 24 in the middle. So we can know that since we have just 12 months, there's no
Yes,
way
a
um
month.
a month can be 24. So this is correct. The first thing we have is the what, is the month. The next thing we have is the day, and the last thing we have is the what, is the year. So we can be sure that whatever value it is we have here, so this is correct, that this is the of 2017 happened to be Wednesday. So that is that on that. So after doing that, all I did was, you should,
I'm
this
sorry, sir. I'm
understandable.
sorry, sir. My own data set
Okay,
is showing the year, day, and month. After state, year, day, and month. Whereas yours is a
sorry.
different. Your own is day, year, and month, but mine is year, day,
No,
and month.
yeah, the amount. It doesn't. I don't think it's an issue. I think it's because of the way, the fact that I've created the year. I've created the year and the day even before I wrote this code. You understand? So if I come here now and we do this as data, so if I now come and run this code here, if I do data.edge, you will now see that it is going to be year, day, and month. You can see. So that was just because I had like actually done the creation of the column before
All
I
right.
made this code fine
The
this
order
way.
of the
So
logic.
that,
Let me guess.
yes, the other, yeah, that's not an issue.
Okay.
Okay. So the next thing I did in this line of code there was I just grouped it by the year. And after grouping by the year, I just after grouping by the year, I got the sum of the sales for each of those things and just plotted it as a bar chart. So I think Zenobia, the one that mentioned the last time, that where is the trend that we actually saw in our last live coding session, you were like, where is the trend?
Yeah.
It was not visible. So but you can see now that the reason why we didn't have anything like that then was because there was no date. So once you have a data set that, once you have a date time data set, they call them time series data. Once you have a time series data, that's when you can start visualizing trends, because you'll be able to contrast what, how the progression is going. So based on this, we can see that there's an upward trend in the sales. The sale of the year 2016 looks higher than 2015. That of 2017 is very much visibly higher than 2016, and the same for 2018 and 2017. Based on this, we can see a trend. It is just common logic now to even be able to predict that if we get the data of the year 2019, the sales will be what? The sales will be higher than for the year of 2018, because there's an upward trend in how the what, how the sales is going. So this is a trend that we have seen in data set, and it's, so we can also do the same thing for another, can also do the same thing for another one here. So let us come here. Let us come here and do it for like discount or something.
Okay, so I have a question. Is it better to leave
Okay.
the bars, can we sort it, or is it better to leave it like this?
No, you
Since
can. No,
better,
that's your. But because you actually want to show a trend, you need to.
okay,
It has to be sorted like in the year, by the year.
okay, based
Sorry,
on the
you
year.
understand what I'm trying to say? Exactly.
Yeah.
So you are going to sort it by the year. You see the next example you would do. I'll have to include sorting. This time I'll have to
Okay.
sort by the day of the week. But you will see that just now. So you have to like how the arrangements will change the trend. But let's just run it. So this
Okay.
for discounts, and let us see how their discount has been. Okay, they don't have something called discounts. I think it should be a capital letter D. Okay, the capital letter D. So let me switch this. So we can also see, just as their sales has been going for the past few years, their discount value has also been going. So they gave fewer discounts than they did the next year, and this has been the progression. So if generally, so we can also see the trend that there's a positive correlation between the trends of discount and sale. As the sale increases, the number of discount they are giving also what increases. So that's basically
Okay.
statistical observation and stuff like that.
Can we have scatter plot or something showing the correlation? I don't think we've ever
It's
used.
yeah, you can't actually. You probably won't, or it's possible. It's possible, but if you do that, then it probably it won't take into account the years. It will just be a scatter plot of
Okay.
a scatter plot of it will just be a scatter plot of the price against the what against the discount. So you see that there's a positive correlation between price and discount, but it's not taking into account the years that you
Okay.
get. So it depends on what you're trying to show. So if we're
But
trying to show a data,
can the what you told us, the hue, color, to differentiate the year?
yes,
That's correct.
the hue, but when you are doing a scatter plot, let me just do that. PLT dot scatter. If I do scatter and say the first thing is data sales, and the next one is data discounts. Discounts. So if you see this now, once this get you can see it's just because there are too many observations in this data set. Even it's not actually showing something very nice, but if you try to do a u, because for each of those years, each of these points is not when you use u, is when you have like a category. So you want to see where those different categories fall into. So it is something that will work, but it is not it doesn't seem logically correct for the kind of visualization you are trying to show. So using a scatter plot and all of this kind of stuff can actually show this, but depending on the context, based on the context of the data we have, the data we have is an exhaustive data that is showing different values for different days and times. So it is just better to go with visualizations that will be able to take into factor that what we are trying to show is contrasting different timestamps than when we are just working with the data that we are just trying to showcase everything. For example, if you are working with the data that shows the prices of houses in price of houses, you don't really care about what year that house was made or what year the house was sold. Um you just want to work with the trend of the houses based on that. But if you now have a data that is trying to look at how many houses you have in a location, you have to change the kind of visualization you make to ensure that you are passing out the right message based on the context of whatever it is that you have. I don't know if that makes sense. So based
Yes.
on this scatter plot, I do this is not even showing anything because the data is actually large. So this is not able to account, it's not able to give us those space that shows us the correlation between both of them. But we can see for all of them. So that's why for continuous values such as this, you can see that because even at a discount of like 0.35, there are low values where they give discount plots. There are also high values that also have discount values of this. But that does not change the fact that as the discount is increasing per year, the sales is also increasing based on these plots that you have here.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you go
So
up, please? You want to show you something? Oh, the first one. Yes, this one. No, the first
okay.
one. This, yes. Is there a
That
way that we can change the line, the number line, to something more instead of using the
is it this
exponential?
here?
Yes. Instead of
Yes,
it to use
yeah,
the exponential, is there a way we
it's
can?
possible. Yes, you just I won't go into that now because as I stated, we have another live coding session, and I should
Oh,
even be rounding up
oh,
now. But I want to do
oh, okay.
another visualization before I round up. But if you look into axis and y ticks, because this is the y axis and this is the x axis. Okay,
Okay.
so if you want to change your y axis the way it looks, um you need to interact with the y ticks. So you can just check that online, plt.yticks. So you can use the plt.yt to change how this is going to be shown instead of it to just be an exponential.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah. So for the next one we are going to be doing,
You say
probably
PLT dot white what?
YT.
Y and TICKX. Like that was what we used to remember. If you remember the visualizations that we did in the first live coding session, where you see me using it here also. When if okay, not yet, but like that time where we had a lot of values on the x-axis where they were going over each other. So we had to rotate it at an angle of 90 degrees so that we'll be able to see the value of each car clearly. You can remember that live coding session. So that was we interacting with the X ticks. So you just do something similar for the Y ticks, but this time you're not rotating, you're changing how the value is going to be printed out. Okay, so for this, so what let's see data now. So this will probably be the last thing we'll do. So this will actually show a trend. So for this data, as we've created this, you can see that we have different we have different cities, we have different categories. Okay, so let's work with one category because for category to be easier. Category, sorry, np.unique data and a category. So we have different categories. Let us just select the first one that comes out. That's the bakery category. So I'll call this semi data. Okay. And I'll say semi data is equals to every data where the category is what is equals to this value, bakery. So if I just do semi data dot add, so I need to put this inside a string. Ctrl Z, Ctrl this space. Okay, so you can see that this everything here is a category, and we have just 1, 2, 3, 4 different categories, and 2015, 2016, 17, and all of this kind of stuff. That's just for the head. So from this semi data now, let us try to make a visualization that will take into account what the different days the different days that we have. So another thing before I go into this, uh i want I want to show another way, because this one is going to answer Inena's question the last time um when she asked how, if it is only bar charts exactly that can be used for visualization. So I just picked this up from somewhere. Okay, so this is going to be using SNS. Okay, and it's a way to do a C-bond. So we'll be doing C-bonds line plots. So that's what we're doing this time around. Just come here. Let me just paste this here exactly. So this is C-bonds line plots. So instead of doing a bar chart, okay. So the data we have here, let me say the data is our, oh I see. So that's where there will be an issue of sorts. Okay, I'll use it in the next one. Let me just bring it here. Control.
Sir,
Why
this
am I making this?
NumPy data set, mine is complaining now. He's saying that NumPy does not have NumPy or NDRA doesn't have head attributes. I'm surprised why it's working in yours.
This should not be a numpy. Probably it's the way you are getting this. Are you yes? How are you getting this? It
No,
should be
when
there should
I
be
run the
two data.
np.unique, I run the code on 32, and it was okay. But when I now wanted to,
Okay.
I now assign to a variable that's code, and I want to do the head. You didn't allow it.
That's what I'm saying. The
Okay, I can see that you do
the
data.
exactly, it has to be data twice. So that's what you're selecting. If it's just one data, then you're selecting a numpy array that contains truth and false. But I just want to try and show this visualization because it's 11:30, max of 11:45. I have to have ended this session, and I would like for you guys to see this also. So just bear with me and let me try to do this. So any question you have, you can ask on the channel, and I'll reply you. But you can
Please,
just, when you go
just
to the
suppose
video
copy the
again,
code to the chat room, sir, when you're done, please.
yes, you get the code on the live coding session. So okay, so as I said previously, so what I want to do now is I want to get the year, and I want to see the kind of sales that we're having for this year. So in this one, for this one, we have to get the sum of all of the years. But when you are using a line plot, you don't have to get all of the sums. So if I do SNS dot, okay, whatever it is. So let me just say SNS dot line plots. Okay, so the SNS dot line plot, and I want to get from this data. So I'm not going to be using the full data now. This time I'm going to be using the semi-D that I just created. And what I want to for the year, the year is going to be,
Is it not a comma
the
instead of the full stop?
oh, sorry, yeah, it should actually be this should be a comma. Thanks for that. So this should be a year, okay, and then my Y is going to be for my what? For my sales. Okay, small letter Y is equals to sales. So if I run this, so you see now that the plot we're having here is a line plot. Can you see this? So what this plot is showing now is the trend of the what? Of the sales for this category, for the bakery category. So for the bakery category in the year, the trend it goes up. So from the year 2015 to year 2016, we can see that there's an upward trend in the sales of goods that are in the bakery category. But from the year 2016 to year 2017, there's a downward trend in this category. You can see that this is the downward trend we are seeing. So from 2016 to 2017, something happened that allowed people to stop buying goods in the bakery category. Then from 2017 to 2018, there was no noticeable difference. You can see that this difference is just is just a little bit small. Let me try to make this a bit fine and saying plot of figure fig size is equals to 10, 10 or something, and let's see what that will give us. Well, that's basically what we are going to be having. So you can see, oh, it's PLT. But from this, you can see now that, so yes, thank you for that. So for now, you can see now that it doesn't necessarily have to be it doesn't necessarily have to be a bar chart. This is a line chart that has shown us, this is not looking nice. Let me make the width 5. That was too big. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me make this one 25 this time around. Exactly. So now this is pretty. So you can see now that for the year 2015 up to this point, an upward trend in the sales, because this category is just for something. It's just for the bakery category. So let us do this same thing. Let me just leave this code here. And now let us do it for this the general category. That's, I mean, the total data. So this time I'll not be using semi-D. This time I'll be using I'll be using data as usual. And our X is going to be for the different years, and this one will be for the sales. And you see that this should accept with what our bar chart told us. And you can see that from the year 2015 to 2016. Okay, so from this bar chart, 2015 to 2016 is actually like, it's from here, it looks as if it should be much, but this looks like a downward trend or sorts here. But you can see that from the year 2016, it has just been an upward trend. You can see this is upward trend that you can see, and that's basically what we saw in the visualization also. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a bar chart. This is another way for you to use a line plot. But when you're using a line plot, you'll not be taking the sum of all of them. You just be plotting each value against each other. And you can see that this line plot shows us that even just from this boundary box that we are seeing up here, this shows us that okay, this seems to be a slight decline, but from there the line is not straight and it just keeps going up. Even though the reason why this line does not go this way is because the values in the number of difference of sales is not actually that much, but you can see that it's an upward trend. And if this continues for the year 2019 also, the value should also keep going up. So Let's do the last visualization for today. This time now, we'll be working with this. So let me just copy this. But this time, we'll be working with months. Okay. So instead of the year, let us do the month for months. Okay. So, and for the different months, this is taking some time. So you can see, you can see how this is. So this is the month of June. This is the month of November. This is the month of June. Okay, no, don't let me even do months first. Let us do the weekdays first. Let's do the.
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, it's scattered the month and it's just confusing.
Exactly.
The months
So
are scattered.
that's why I was
Yeah.
trying to tell you that you have to. That's why I decided to do this. So we'll be able to see
Okay.
the months are 12. This is just 7. So you can see that this starts from a Tuesday. Okay, what happened? Let me try to reduce this. Sort of. Sorry. So this is too big. I can't see anything. All right, exactly. So you can see that this is looking like I highlighted something. Let me run this code again. Exactly. So you can see that for this code now, you can see the day. The first day is Tuesday because this does not the code doesn't understand that the days of the week are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, up to Friday. So it is just plotting based on the first day it is seen on the data in the data set, basically. You understand? But with this, we can see a trend. But this trend is not the actual trend. Why is it not the actual trend? Because the trend is not showing between consecutive number of days. So that's why you see that you have to order it. You have to sort it. So you ask them if you are going to sort it. So yes, we'll sort it based on whatever it is that we want to visualize. So for this trend, we want to visualize based on the days. If we are going to be visualizing based on the days, then the days have to be sorted. So we'll be able to see the actual trend because this trend is showing us a downward and upward, a downward and upward, but this is not factual. So let us come here and sort semi-D. So let's sort this. So let's sort the values. I'll be sorting it by the what? By the day. Okay. So but the thing even is if we sort it by the day, it will sort it alphabetically, but not even by the what? It's not even sorted by the first day of the week. I don't know if you get if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Exactly. So this is going to try to sort it by the number of days of the week. So what we can try to do is we can try to map this ourselves. Okay. So what we'll do now is for the semi data. Okay. So we'll do something called a semi data copy. Okay. So semi data dot copy is equals to semi d dot copy. Okay. So now we're going for days in. So we know, let's start with Sunday. Then we're going to Monday. Then we're going to Tuesday. And the next one is for Wednesday. Okay. I want to ensure that we don't have a capitalization issue. If not, that will cause an error. So this is a manual process of sorts. There might be an automated process, but I don't want to go into that because I just have to ensure that I leave here early enough. So I'm just going to use a logic from the top of my head. So Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. Okay. So what I want to do now is I'm now going to be getting the indexes. So I'm now going to be getting this way. So this will be for for these days. I'm going to say the indexes I need now are the index of the days for semi data and the semi data. I know that we are talking about the day column is equals to what? The particular day. Okay. So these are what I need. I need the indexes of this. I would have liked to show you each of those steps one by one, but you guys should learn how to decouple a code. Like when you see a line of code that has different multiple line of code, just like take it one by one and try to see what, because that's why we're using things like collab. So when you run the line of code, see what the values you get. But I won't be able to showcase that. But if you need if you are when you are going to the video, you understand what I'm doing. So what I'm really trying to do here is I'm getting the index for all of these days, and I'm going to, let me keep it here. Index is equals to a list. So this index, I'm going to say that index dot append, okay, index. So let me print out index first. So let me print out index first. So you can see that these are the indexes. So these are the indexes for Sunday. These are the indexes for Monday, Tuesday, blah blah blah. But now I need to do something. I need to ensure that all of them are together. So to do that, I'll use a list comprehension. So index is going to be V for row in index for V in row. I hope you guys are good with this comprehension, but this is just a list comprehension. You can see now, if I print, don't let me say index, let me do print index. Is 1141 already. So this print index, and you can see now that for the index, when we printed it the last time, what happened? All of them were scattered for different days. So for this now, the indexes are already aligned. So if I now do this now, if I create a new line of code here and do semi data underscore C, okay, dot locate all of this index, you'll see that our data will be structured in the way where the first thing that will come is going to be Sunday. You can see these are all of the Sundays. Then the next one we'll have after these Sundays, they are going to be Mondays. The next one. So that's me just is actually on the spot, because when I did not actually account for the fact that sorting was not going to understand what it means to be. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. But that's by the way. There's another way that we could have done it. Another way that you could have done this kind of sorting is to give you do something called an encoding. So you give Sunday value of 1, give Monday value of 2, gives that would have even been an easier way, but it is what it is. But based on this now, our sorting is completed. So semi underscore data is equals to this. I don't want the semi underscore data. I still want it to be the semi underscore data copy. Okay. So if I now come here and say that the data I'm going to use now, I don't want to use semi underscore data. I want you to do what? Semi underscore data C. And let us run this code. We should now see, hopefully, unless there's an NN. So you can see this so from Sunday to Monday, there's a downward trend in the sales of this particular. Remember that this is a particular category. So there's a downward trend in the sales of the bakery category. Then we see an upward trend of sorts to Tuesday, an upward trend. It even goes higher on Thursday. It comes back down on Friday and goes back up. So we can do this. For, if you had a lot of data, we'll be able to do this for different years. So if we do this, this is for sorry. So this is for a particular this for all of the data set. Actually, we can even go further downward and split this data like for different years, and you see that this is how you start getting patterns and trends. So based on this, now we have seen a pattern that on Sunday to Monday there's a downward way in the way people sell, in the way people buy bakery products. So this particular store can decide to reduce the number of bakery products they will have on Sunday to Monday. Then they can maintain the number they have from Monday to Wednesday. But immediately for the next day, preparing for Thursday, what do you have to do? You have to increase the number of bakery products you have, because there will be an upward trend in how people are going to be buying the bakery products. And then immediately after increasing it, whatever is left, you just try to reduce it again for Friday, because on Friday there's a downward trend from Thursday to Friday for how people buy this product. Then it goes back up to Saturday. So this is the trend that we're trying to see. So that is what this stage is basically about, using time series data to visualize trends and patterns in the data set that you can use to make what healthy conclusions based on what you have. So the last thing before I then allow you guys ask questions for just 5 minutes maximum, but I doubt there will be any questions. If there are questions, we'll take it on the group. But so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to provide you. So you can see that this is for everything in the data. That's every category. But what if we try to do this for, instead of trying to get for any category, let us try to get it for different regions. Because if you go to our data, let's look at data.txt. You can see we have the category, okay, then we have the dates, we also have the region. So this particular store has a west region, a central region, an east region, and stuff like that. So if I say give it the hue to be region and let's run this, you will now see that for different regions, even though the general trend says something, the trend for different regions is different. See this plot that we have now, based on this legend, red is for the west. So in the west region, there is an upward trend in the data, okay? There's an upward trend from Sunday to Monday. Meanwhile, in the general, okay, let me do this. Let me just bring this here, Control A, Control C, Control V, and let me remove this region here.
Does it want to do a peer plot for it? For the
A
visualization?
peer plot.
Yes, sir.
It's possible to do a peer plot.
Since we're having
But
an
the peer plot,
overlapping
no,
non-correlation.
no. This overlap is actually intended.
Okay.
You get, because this now is showing the full picture of the trend. That's combining the trend of both the south region, combining the trend of south, west, east, central, all of the regions. If you combine the trends together, the aggregate value you get is this trend that we have here. Do you understand?
I get
But
it.
when we now come here and say that we don't want the aggregate value, we want to see the different trend for
Regional
each of these
basis.
specific regions, exactly, on a regional basis. So that is why this is, so this is expected. So if you don't want it to be overlapping each other, then you can create a separate plot for every region. But this now gives us the picture of every region in just one visualization. So we'll just use the legend. We can see that the red is for the west. So in the general region, on Sunday to Monday, what happens? There's a downward trend. But in the west region, there's an upward trend. So this now can even tell them, okay, companies can start making more granular decisions that, okay, for this particular region, this is what we have to do concerning bakery products. But what we are going to be doing in this region has to be different from what we are going to be doing in this region, because in this region, what happens? There's a downward trend. So this is basically everything about pattern analysis. So it's just how to make multiple visualizations that are based on what? That are based on the time, the date, the year. And this one, we're even just using the date. There are more time series data that will include the time. You can start seeing variations in the hours. You can see variations in the minutes. You can see variations of days. You can see variations of 10 days. Okay, between the 1 and 10, what's the variation that we have? All of those kind of stuff. That's basically the essence of this stage that we're trying to talk about. We're talking about pattern analysis, and that is all for this live coding session. So I know I was a bit rushed to the end, but you guys can go through the video again. It's on YouTube, it's live, for the parts where you feel you have an issue. Go through those videos and try to like follow those codes, and you see that it's actually very simple, because it's visualization that I've been doing, it's visualization that I've been submitting so far. It's just that you're trying to base a visualization based on what, on a date this time around. So you can try to generate much more visualizations. So for your tag along project, that's what we expect. Just try to do something that works on the time, the date, and everything, to just like generate different trends for different kind of food, different countries, and see what is happening, the trends that exist in their own data for their country. So is that fine, or does anybody have something very
Yes, sir.
quick?
Please don't forget to send the code to the chat room, sir.
Yeah,
I don't know,
send
sir.
the
Do we
code.
have any feedback from our TC requests?
All of you are actually asking the same thing. They asked at the beginning of the session, and I
I'm
said
sorry,
we'll
I
get
didn't
back to
know.
you.
I wasn't there.
No. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yes, that's fine. So I told them also that you guys can like maybe try to send an email request. Everybody just send an email request to request for something about the stage C. You understand? But as I said, I'm not promising anything, but I'll keep trying on my end.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. So
And somebody has a
you
question.
guys,
You didn't answer on the groups. I don't
okay?
know the person, but I was saying, would the result of that grading was without our project?
No, I think I should have answered. I answered. Like, we have not shown the grading. Your grading always takes into consideration your tag along project, your score for
Okay.
the quiz. So those are what I thought I had answered. I'll confirm
Okay.
if I didn't
Maybe I
answer. But
didn't take notes.
we
All right.
we take into consideration, that's like what determines your ranking for the stage is the combination of your quiz value and your tag along project.
Okay. So someone that has a A might end up getting F.
Though,
Yes, sir.
as we say though, when my first internship, I had a lot of Fs also, so it doesn't mean anything actually.
Wow. So, all right, sir. Thank you.
So, all right, you guys have a wonderful day, and bye bye for now.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.